Joining us now, Heritage Action for America Executive Director Jessica Anderson. Jessica, good to see you. Ron DeSantis literally crushing his competition. And I was really worried about going into this, not worried about it, but I thought he would win. But I thought also we've seen in the last 2 years because of the pandemic, so many people go to Florida from blue states. And I was afraid they would take their blue votes with them and give us more of a purplish outcome. That wasn't the case here. People went down there. They saw how he ran the state during the pandemic. They liked it, and they voted that way. I think it really sent a very clear message that was results-oriented and action-oriented. What do you think?
My sense is very similar, and we actually joked about that Governor DeSantis was going to need to put billboards up at the I-4 corridor and on I-10 saying, leave your liberal values behind, you're entering the free state of Florida. And I think that sort of messaging, it really worked. And what Governor DeSantis was able to do, it's not just that he tackled every single issue from tackling the woke Orlando whole disaster with Disney, protecting kids, going after the teachers' unions, keeping schools open, keeping businesses open. He painted a vision for what Florida was going to look like under his leadership, the free state of Florida, he kept saying. Yeah. And so I think because he tackled everything and he had that clarity of vision, voters responded and really rewarded him with double-digit, huge victory last night that we can all be proud of.
Yeah, and Marco Rubio did well as well. The whole state pretty much crushed it. But let me ask you this, because he made a speech and people were lauding him and praising him for some of the things that he said when it came to being woke. Obviously, he has taken a stance on that. Watch this.
We reject woke ideology. We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die.
And a lot of New Yorkers went to Florida. And obviously, as we just said, you know, we're not buying the wokeness here. But, you know, you still have states that are quite blue and deep blue here in New York. Governor Kathy Hochul winning the race. And so, you know, New Yorkers don't sort of it's different people in the country don't necessarily respond to that messaging is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's right. But what Governor DeSantis, I think, was able to do so effectively is he drew a line in the sand of what it actually looked like to fight against woke media, to fight against woke corporations, and the smear tactics that have come after him, by the way. He was responding to the fights that he's been dragged into because of how he managed the state over the last 4 years. And I think when you even look at some of the pockets in Florida that moved from blue to red, I mean, we've talked a lot in the last 24 hours about the historic turnout in Miami-Dade County, that you haven't had a Republican win that county in 20 years since Jeb Bush was governor. I mean, that sort of response tells you that his leadership is onto something. It's real, it's concise, and voters are drawn to it. And for all the New Yorkers or folks from up north that moved into Florida, I think that they like to see a little fight from Governor DeSantis.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw the cover of the New York Post today. Play on his name, DeSantis. They have the future, you know, that he is a future leader of this party. Do you think that he's going to make a run for it in 2024?
Well, I think he's the leader right now. It's not even that he's in the future. He's leading the great state of Florida right now. Huge victories. We even mentioned Senator Marco Rubio, huge victory as well. And there's going to be a lot of attention on Florida. They've got a huge state legislative agenda ahead. And I think you heard the cries. I certainly did from his campaign rally. Everyone was crying 2 more years, which gives you the sense that I think Floridians want to see him make a run in 2024, and we'll see what he does over the next 6 months or so and decides.
We sure will, and we'll be watching very closely. Jessica Anderson, thank you. Good to see you tonight.
Thanks for having me.